In 2004, I went on my Birthright Israel. I was an Israeli Navy IDF soldier, and I had this vacation to go and meet American Jewish guys for 3 days in Tel Aviv. And little did I know that this break from my military training will impact my life for years to come. And I remember when I met those Jewish Americans, I saw their excitement in their eyes about, asking about Tel Aviv and our life in Israel, and of course the military service. And they had so much pride in being connected to this country, my country. And even for the first time in my life, somebody thanked me for my military service, which something you take for granted as an Israeli. As a grandson of Holocaust survivor, I always knew I wanted to protect Israel, and that's why I volunteered to serve in the Israeli Navy SEALs, which is one of the most elite and prestigious unit in the IDF and maybe in the entire world. And I was so fascinated from their deep connection and how they wanted to protect Israel. And this is where, for the first time, because this birthright trip, I realized that I'm not just protecting Israel, I'm protecting the whole Am Yisrael. For the Americans, it was the first time they visiting in Israel. And I remember their excitement in their eyes, that they were so curious about military service and about the city and about, from food and culture and everything in our life in Israel. And for me, it was very fascinating for me because I never expected people, that are not Israel citizens, were so had this deep connection to my country. And that was very surprising and very impactful for me to see it, that Am Yisrael is not just, for me, Israeli in Israel, but it was so much more than that. I think for American Jewish people to visit in Israel, it's essential because I think you can never really vote for something if you don't really understand it. And I think you can never understand Israel and, the conflict or our life over there if you never visited. And I think the fact that they are going to visit in Israel and see firsthand what actually happens and how beautiful this country is and how warm the people are and welcoming, I think for them it's really a game changer, because that's the only way for them to feel comfortable, I think, to vote for Israel and to speak up for what is right and what we're trying to impact and do good for this world. For me, what really struck me is how much pride and connection they had to the country, and I tried to dig in and understand where it came from, and I understood right there from this birthright trip that our history and our heritage is the same. They just live in a different place, but it doesn't mean that they don't care about our people in Israel. We may grew up by ocean separate between us, but birthright showed us that we are tied together through our Jewish heritage. My name is Lior Ofir. I live in South Florida today. I have a non-profit organization where we're trying to empower the next generation by teach them that they need to be proud of their Jewish heritage and always feel proud of who they are and what they believe. Toda Rabah to all the donors of Birthright Israel Foundation.